Do you think winning the lottery would solve all your problems? If so, you're wrong, and we can prove it. There are some lottery winners out there who actually regretted it immediately after winning. So before you rush out to buy your next ticket, listen to these stories first. Number 15. Martin and Kay Tutt. Martin Tutt and his wife Kay from Watford thought they'd hit the jackpot when they won $3.8 million in the lottery back in 2001. However, they immediately regretted winning when they realized they couldn't claim their winnings. The reason was just that Martin had lost the winning ticket. Although they found out about their luck 6 months after the draw, all they had left was a proof of purchase from their local London store. The lottery organizer had strict rules about such situations. According to his rules, if a winner lost their ticket, they needed to report it within 30 days. Martin and Kay didn't meet this condition. They spent 45 days in frustration while Camelot reviewed their case. In the end, the verdict was that without the original ticket, their claim didn't stand. This turn of events shattered their dreams. They had imagined quitting their jobs and traveling the world, living the kind of life most people only dream of. But then, none of this was possible. Out of desperation, Martin contacted several lawyers to see if there was any possible appeal. Each one gave him the same disappointing news that there was nothing they could do now. They won the lottery, sure, but the regret of losing the ticket will haunt them forever. While this couple never got the money, this next man did receive the prize, but still regretted it. Number 14. Americo Lopez. In Elizabeth, New Jersey, 6 Portuguese-American construction buddies had a pact. For years, they pooled their money to buy lottery tickets. They always dreamt of the day they might win big. That day arrived in November 2009, but none of them had any idea about it. One of those buddies was Americo Lopez. He was entrusted by his group with buying the tickets. So when he found out that they had won, rather than sharing this incredible news, he quietly resigned from his job. He told everyone he needed foot surgery and left the company. His friends wished him a speedy recovery, unaware of the fortune that should have been theirs too. The truth came out in 2010 when one of Lopez's friends stumbled upon an online photo of him. He saw him holding a big lottery check and smiling for the camera. The group felt betrayed and was furious, so they decided to take the matter to court. They argued that the winning ticket was purchased with their collective funds, which entitled them to a share of the prize. Lopez defended himself in this situation. He insisted that he bought the winning ticket with his own money. However, the jury saw through his story and so ruled in favor of the friends. They mandated Lopez to split the winnings. In the end, he regretted not telling his friends earlier about the big win. Not only did he lose his winnings, but he also lost something else more important: his friends. Number 13. Tonda Lynn Dickerson. Tonda Lynn Dickerson's lottery story is a classic example of be careful what you wish for. Working as a waitress in a Florida diner, Tonda received a lottery ticket as a tip from a regular customer. When that ticket turned out to be worth a whopping $10 million, her life flipped upside down, but not in the way she hoped. Almost immediately, her coworkers claimed they had all agreed to split any winnings from tickets given to them at work. Tonda disagreed, saying there was no such agreement. Her friends took her to court in the hope of getting their share of the winnings. Lucky for her, the court ruled in her favor. If that wasn't enough, Tonda's ex-husband also came out of the woodwork. He took her to court as well to claim a piece of her prize. The stress kept mounting as Tonda tried to safeguard her winnings by putting them into a family company, which led to a massive tax bill she wasn't ready for. Not only this, the customer who tipped her the ticket also came back to claim that the winnings belonged to him. No wonder Tonda believed it was better if she hadn't won the lottery in the first place. Her life became hell after that, but thankfully it didn't end tragically like this next unlucky winner. Number 12. Abraham Shakespeare. If you listen to the story of Abraham Shakespeare, you'll realize how winning the lottery can go horribly wrong. In 2006, Abraham Shakespeare won $30 million, but this sudden wealth turned his life into a nightmare. Abraham, who'd been living a simple life in Florida, has suddenly found himself the target of people who were more interested in his money than his friendship. Among these was Dee Dee Moore, who pretended to help manage his funds. Instead, she schemed her way into his life. She took over his finances. But then, in 2009, Abraham suddenly disappeared. And guess what? His body was later found buried under a concrete slab in Moore's backyard. She was convicted of murdering him to get her hands on his lottery winnings. Abraham's story is a reminder that sometimes the price of a lottery ticket can be much more than the money spent. Number 11. Andrew Jackson Whitaker Jr. Andrew Jackson Whitaker Jr. is one of the unluckiest lottery winners in the world. Let us tell you why. Whitaker was already a wealthy businessman in 2002 when he won a record-breaking $314 million Powerball jackpot. Instead of happiness and a great life, this wealth brought him nothing but regret and trouble. Almost immediately, his life spiraled out of control. He experienced constant harassment and several lawsuits. Thieves targeted him, and they stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from his car on multiple occasions. His family life crumbled as well. His granddaughter, whom he was very close to, struggled with substance abuse and passed away. Whitaker was also addicted to gambling. He frequently visited casinos. This is how he started losing his money. Over time, he faced one personal and financial loss after another, which led him to regret his win. He publicly stated that he wished he had torn up the winning ticket. By the end of his ordeal, Whitaker had not only lost most of his fortune, but had also witnessed his life and family disintegrate. Some even say that this lottery win brought a curse to his family. Something similar happened to this next lottery winner. Number 10. Bud Post. Bud Post was a man who convinced his girlfriend and landlady to buy him 40 lottery tickets in exchange for his ring. This smart move paid off. When Bud Post won $32 million in the lottery, he thought all his financial troubles were over. He was overjoyed, especially since he was struggling and disabled at the time. However, Bud made some pretty poor financial decisions afterward. He started spending wildly. He bought extravagant gifts for his family, leased expensive restaurant spaces for his siblings, purchased a used car lot for his brother, and even bought an airplane, even when he didn't need one. His spending was so out of control that within 3 months, he was $500,000 in debt. Even after realizing that he was deep in debt, Bud bought a $395,000 mansion and continued his lavish lifestyle. The worst thing happened to him when his brother tried to kill him and his wife to get the lottery money. Luckily, the plot was discovered and his brother was arrested. But Bud's problems didn't stop there. The woman who bought him the winning tickets sued him. She claimed she was owed a share. After a costly court case, Bud lost $5.5 million to her. Eventually, after shooting a creditor in frustration and serving time, Bud ended up living on just $450 a month in the form of a disability check. How unfortunate, but still not as unfortunate as this next unlucky winner. Number 9. E.B. Ronchioli. E.B. Ronchioli was living in Canada when she won the lottery. After winning $5 million, her life quickly changed in ways nobody could have predicted. E.B. thought she was making good financial decisions, but she was not. In fact, these were the decisions that eventually led to her downfall. She gambled away a large portion of her winnings and gave away substantial amounts to children she had from previous relationships, all without her husband's knowledge. When her husband Joseph found out about the secret spending and the hidden debts, he was devastated. The betrayal was too much for him to handle, and in a dark turn of events, he poisoned E.B. Joseph was later convicted of manslaughter for his actions. E.B.'s lottery win, which should have been a new beginning, ended up exposing secrets that tore her family apart and led to her tragic death. This is how money can sometimes bring more trouble than happiness, and for E.B., not winning might have meant a safer, more peaceful life. Number 8. Willie Hurt. Willie Hurt's lottery win in 1989 initially seemed like a stroke of luck. What he didn't see coming was a series of troubles. after winning 3.1 mil, his life spiraled downward in just 2 years. The sudden wealth led Willie into a destructive lifestyle that he struggled to manage. His newfound wealth fueled a severe addiction, which had devastating consequences for his personal life. The addiction destroyed his relationships. In fact, his wife divorced him for his addiction. Not only did he lose his marriage, but he also lost custody of his children, which was a crushing blow. This situation worsened when Willie had a violent incident in which he was charged with attempted murder. Looking back, Willie Hurt likely wished he had never won the lottery. He believes he was better off without it. Similar were the thoughts of this next lottery winner. Number 7. Callie Rogers. Callie Rogers was just 16 when she won 1.9 million pounds in the lottery, which is about 2.41 million USD. At first, it seemed like all her dreams had come true, but things quickly went downhill. Being so young, Callie didn't really know how to handle all that money. She started spending it on expensive shopping trips, cosmetic surgeries, and big parties. Unfortunately, this lifestyle didn't bring happiness. Instead, Callie ended up attracting the wrong kind of people, those who were more interested in her money than in her as a person. This caused her a lot of stress and led to poor mental health. Things got even tougher for Callie as she struggled with substance abuse. She also had trouble with the law a few times because of this. Eventually, she ran out of money and was left with very little from her lottery win. Her mental health was so poor by that time that she even attempted suicide. Looking back, Callie has said that winning the lottery so young brought her more problems than happiness, and she wishes it had never happened. It turned out to be a lot harder than she expected. Number 6. Billy Bob Harrell Jr. Billy Bob Harrell Jr.'s story is another proof that winning the lottery can turn out badly. After winning $31 million, Billy Bob quit his job and started spending a lot on donations and gifts. At first, everything seemed great. He was able to help out his church and give back to his family, which felt really good. But soon, the problem started. Managing all that money was harder than he thought. He made some quick decisions that ended up costing him a lot, and before he knew it, his money was slipping away. This caused a lot of stress in his life, and eventually led to a divorce. Things didn't get better for Billy Bob, and he felt worse and worse about winning the lottery. He once told a financial advisor that winning the lottery was the worst thing that ever happened to him. Sadly, a few years after his big win, Billy Bob took his own life. This proves that sometimes getting what you wish for can have unexpected downsides. And the next story will prove that sometimes all that happens is actually your own fault. Number 5. Denise Rossi. Denise Rossi from California won 1.3 mil in the lottery, but guess what? She decided not to tell her husband Thomas about it. In fact, she filed for divorce just 11 days after her big win and ended her marriage at 25 years. Thomas came to know about the win when he accidentally received a letter meant for Denise, which revealed her secret. He was utterly shocked by the discovery. He made a wise decision afterward and took legal action. He argued in court that Denise had violated legal requirements to disclose all assets during their divorce. The case went to court, and the judge ruled in Thomas's favor. As punishment for her lack of transparency, the court awarded every penny of Denise's lottery winnings to her ex-husband Thomas. This outcome left Denise not only with her lottery fortune, but also with profound regret. She learned the hard way that attempting to hide her windfall in the divorce was a poor move. Like Denise, the next lottery winner also regretted making poor decisions after their win. Number 4. Luke Pittard. Luke Pittard's story after winning the lottery is a bit different from the other typical stories we've shared earlier. Luke Pittard won 1.3 million pounds in the lottery, which is about 1.65 million USD. At first, it seemed like all his dreams had come true. He quit his job at McDonald's and took off for a sunny vacation in the Canary Islands with his family. But the excitement of the big win and the big changes started to wear off quicker than he expected. After a while, Luke realized he actually missed his old life. The daily routine, his work buddies, and even the regular customers. The big win had changed his life, but not in the ways he thought it would. He started to feel out of place in his new wealthy lifestyle and realized that money was not giving him the happiness he expected. Feeling a bit lost, Luke decided to go back to his job at McDonald's just 18 months after winning. He found that getting back into his normal routine and seeing familiar faces every day made him happier than any luxury could. For Luke, going back to work was his way of getting back the life he realized he missed after the lottery changed it. Number 3. Alex and Rhoda Toth. Alex and Rhoda Toth were a couple who won $13 million in the lottery back in 1990. They opted to get their prize in yearly payments. At first, everything was fantastic, but the thrill didn't last. The Toths started blowing through their annual checks way too fast. Fancy cars, high-stakes gambling, you name it, they probably spent money on it. This kind of spending spree might sound fun, but it led them into some serious money troubles. Before they knew it, they were drowning in debt. Then the tax problems started piling up. The IRS came knocking, saying that the Toths owed a heap of back taxes. The pressure was massive, and it strained their lives and their health. Alex was so stressed about their financial situation that he passed away with their IRS troubles still hanging over them. Rhoda was left to handle the chaos on her own. She was charged with tax evasion and served 2 years in prison. Looking back, they might have wished they had never won at all. Number 2. Sharon Tirabassi. Sharon Tirabassi won $10 million in the lottery and went all out. Fancy cars, wild parties, and endless vacations. Sharon lived like a superstar. It was fun while it lasted, but she didn't think much about tomorrow. As the money started to run out, reality kicked in. Sharon hadn't saved a dime or invested any of her winnings. When the cash dried up, so did the luxury lifestyle. She found herself needing to work a regular job again, living a life much like the one she had before winning the lottery. Looking back, Sharon now wishes she had handled things differently. She regrets not being smarter with her spending and not thinking about her future. Now she's back to basics, and her lottery days feel like a bittersweet memory. Just like Sharon, we have one more lottery winner who lost it all in no time. Number 1. Evelyn Adams. Evelyn Adams hit the lottery jackpot not once, but twice in the mid-1980s in New Jersey. She won a total of $5.4 million. You might think that kind of luck would set someone up for life, but things didn't turn out that way for Evelyn. Instead of investing her money, she spent it on gambling in Atlantic City. Her love for gambling ate away at her fortune quickly. The casinos were happy to see her, but her bank account wasn't. Over the years, all the money slipped through her fingers. Eventually, Evelyn went broke. She had no money at all, so she had to live in a trailer. Now she openly expresses regret about her choices with her lottery winnings. She wishes that she had managed her incredible luck with more foresight and invested her money instead of splurging. While it's true that many lottery winners end up regretting their choices, you can learn from their mistakes. If you ever win, you'll know how to make better decisions. But how exactly can you win the lottery? Watch our next video for the best strategies to win the lottery in 2024. Don't miss this golden opportunity.